Good morning. Welcome to Bert Nash Community Mental Health Center's virtual celebration. It's our very first at-home event, and hopefully it's our last. Hi, I'm Jeree Catlin, the Endowment Board of Trustees Chair. Before we start, we'd like to know who's joining us this morning. Below this video, you will see a prompt to check in. So if you'll grab your phone or use the text option on your computer to text the word Nash, N-A-S-H, to 51555. Thank you, and we are thrilled you have joined us this morning. I'm standing here at Miss Ellie's Banquet and Catering, where we typically hold our annual fundraiser. But before we begin, I'd like to say a special thank you to our many sponsors who, without their generous support, this virtual event would not be possible. CEK Insurance, Mid-America Credit Union, the Trust Company, U.S. Bank, and LMH Health. A special thank you also to SS&C Solutions and Miss Ellie's for the complimentary breakfast many of you are enjoying right now. These were all generously given in memory of Amy Sigler. Thank you to Jackalope and Resonant Pictures for helping us create the video and the film that you will see shortly. And lastly, thank you to all the virtual captains, table captains. Without your efforts, clearly we would not be here today. Perhaps there are many of you, like me, had heard of Bert Nash, but didn't know much about their services and programs. It wasn't until I was invited to a breakfast and later a Discover Bert Nash tour that I began to understand. Hearing others speak so openly about their mental health and the success of their treatments was inspirational, but more importantly, made me realize how critical it was to educate our community about their services and to support the work of our many trained and dedicated Bert Nash professionals. When our quarantine started and social distancing was put in place, the need for mental health services did not go away. In fact, as many of you know, mental health challenges have increased these last few months. It has really been inspiring to see how quickly the Bert Nash staff have adapted to continue providing both critical and educational services. Our community is so fortunate to have a resource like Bert Nash. This morning, we will highlight stories supporting the need for mental health. It will be a time for inspiration, information, and of course, celebration. So to begin, it's my pleasure to introduce Lisa Cyrus. Lisa is a Bert Nash Peer Support Program Manager and a published poet. And this morning we'll be sharing with us a poem she wrote about her experiences and her perspective on why Bert Nash is here for you.
Again, my name is Lisa Cyrus, and my role at Bert Nash Center is that of a peer support program manager. I've been with Bert Nash Center for about 5.5 years. 4 of those years I spent as a case manager, working with clients in the community. I worked for the center because I see its impact in our community. For instance, I've seen individuals who went through multiple psychiatric hospitalization and homelessness. They get to a point of obtaining and maintaining stable housing, stable employment, and a reconnection with family and other natural supports. It is the witness of such incredible experiences over and over again that keeps me here. It is the idea of supporting individuals in our community in obtaining something new, a new life. Today I'll share a poem with you that gives a glimpse of this new life. The poem is titled Something New, and it is specifically related to my own lived experience and journey with mental illness. I saw you on the pages of inspirational magazines. I heard echoes of you from motivational speakers and the like. I longed for you at different periods of my life. When you finally came to me, my imagination of you fell short of your reality. Though not by surprise, you came softly, in your own way, and at the right time. You didn't make a grand entrance, yet your presence was for real. You exchanged places with the old and mundane with no fuss or fight. But with clear expectations, you were not willing to share delight. You did it brilliantly. Quietly stepping in with ease, you took your position gallantly. You are a breath of fresh air, so fair, so tangible in character. You know, you're the sort of thing that some spend countless time and resources, yet not get. So my response to you is yes, you I do accept. I welcome you with open arms. My transformation, my new life.
Good morning. I'm Patrick Schmitz, President and CEO of the Bert Nash Community Mental Health Center. For the past 9 years, we held our Celebrate Bert Nash breakfast in person here at Maselli's. While I would prefer to be speaking to you all live, thankfully, technology gives us the opportunity to still rejoice together. I'd like you to think of a time in your life when either a person or an organization was always there for you. Was it a teacher, a friend, your church, or some caring agency? For me, high school was a challenging time, and Mr. Boley was there for me starting in 9th grade English. His door was always open, and I could speak about anything I needed to without a fear of judgment. He simply listened and offered a safe space for me to work through my challenges. Bert Nash Center has offered that same safe space for our community for the last 70 years. Even though we had to reduce the pay of our over 200 team members due to the negative financial impact of the pandemic, this dedicated team continued to show up day after day to provide their life-saving services, whether it was therapy and psychiatry delivered virtually or physically distanced in-person care. This year's Celebrate theme is Here for You, and the Bert Nash Center has stood strong during these unprecedented and uncertain times. This past year, we responded to the needs by remaining open, adjusting our delivery systems to include virtual and physically distanced services. Our med services team mobilized to provide life-saving monthly injections to over 70 clients curbside at our building or at the client's home. We restored lives through our SOAR program, which assists individuals with disabilities gain access to Social Security disability benefits needed to stave off homelessness and gain access to the health care they need along their journey to recovery. We built a healthy community through the rapid redeployment of our RAP specialist, who became an integral part of our school district's efforts to engage kids once the stay-at-home orders went into effect. To this day, our Working to Recognize Alternative Possibilities team members are helping kids and families cope. Due to the pandemic, last school year alone, the RAP specialists helped 1,138 students, which is a significant increase from previous years. I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to all of you, and especially our Celebrate Bert Nash Society members who helped us navigate through these difficult times as we continue to provide mental health supports and treatment to our fellow community members. None of our achievements would be possible without you. While we have made progress, we have so much more to do to break the destructive cycle of untreated mental illness. Further, because of the pandemic, we face a mental health crisis unlike any we have seen before, where anxiety and depression are affecting our community at higher rates, while the resources of those needing help have diminished or disappeared entirely. As the economic impact of this pandemic stretches into the future, we are seeing an increase in our homeless population, and we must be able to help our neighbors find and maintain the housing they need, which serves as a stable platform for their recovery. Support here helps our neighbors obtain needed ID cards, pay initial rent deposits, and utilities. This assistance, along with our other services, has shown to help 80 to 90% of those served maintain their housing. We must continue to have RAP specialists in our schools so our youth have the mental health support critical to their social emotional development. Finally, we must be able to reinstate our team members' pay so that we can do our part to ensure quality mental health services remain available. Bert Nash Center is here for you, your loved ones, and our entire community. I ask you to join Bert Nash Center in ensuring we are here for our community as we continue to respond to the mental health needs through this global pandemic. Now, we are going to hear from some of the resilient and inspiring people we have served and who have benefited from our programs thanks to your generous support.
With mental health, I started my path starting off college when I was 23. And I wasn't diagnosed until after I had a manic episode my first semester at KU.
I had always kind of struggled in school. I was always fighting with my teachers and getting into fights with other students. I lived with someone who was pretty abusive, and that really impacted my mental health.
I noticed when I was in the 6th grade that I was having problems. I didn't have very many friends. I was a loner. I kind of was isolated. That was about 68 years ago.
When I first experienced a manic episode, I didn't know what it was because I was experiencing the highest highs that I'd ever gone through and the lowest lows that I'd ever gone through. I just realized I haven't gone to class, I haven't eaten. I had an inkling of there might be something going on.
I didn't play. I didn't do anything with other people. I just laid in bed. My parents, they kept telling me I would outgrow it, that there was nothing that could be done.
Right when I started middle school, I came out as trans. Everyone in that town I had known my entire life, and they had all these expectations of me. Nobody embraces who you are, and you're forced into this little box that doesn't really fit.
When I was 25, I knew I had to do something. I was very ill. I weighed 67 pounds. At that time, if you saw a psychologist, you were blackballed in the school system. So I didn't go because I didn't want to lose my job. But then I was forced to go when I was hospitalized. And when the school district found out, I did lose my job. I lost my career too. And that was a big blow.
I started having paranoid thoughts. I thought the CIA was listening in on me. They were gonna try to come and maybe kill me in my sleep. I had hospitalization then, and I'd gone pretty much full-blown psychosis. That was my biggest fear, was that I was gonna have mental illness like my mother. And when I got that diagnosis, it really just kinda broke me down because it felt like I wasn't able to be a normal person anymore. And it took me a long time to realize that that is the biggest lie. When I turned to Bert Nash, at first I was very skeptical, but they were very patient with me and calm with me.
Eventually, down the line, I was referred to DBT and to a therapist named Marty. She gave me the hope to live, and DBT taught me the skills to be able to communicate, to function in this world. And I still use those skills today.
Second year of middle school, I met Allison, and she was the best thing ever. She kind of provided a safe space, and she would come get me during an off hour of school, and we would go and play pool. And it was just a time that I could be my authentic self. This person was seeing what I wanted them to see. They weren't worrying about who I used to be or what my name used to be.
Between the stigma and my actual mental illness, the bigger thing to overcome was the stigma. because it's what locked me away inside. It's really what kept me from wanting to step out. And that is such a big part of what Bert Nash has helped to break down for me.
I think Marty instilled in me my patience and my perseverance to keep going. If you get the right people in the right place, you can be very successful and you can recover.
I think I've gotten better about communicating my feelings because of Bert Nash. Interacting with people in a positive way helped with my anger issues a lot. I was like making food and I accidentally melted a plastic lid on my stove, and I realized in that moment, if this had happened to me a year ago, like I would be super angry. But like now, I can actually handle this situation in a healthy way.
My husband has been very supportive. He's been my stabilizing force. We just celebrated our 43rd wedding anniversary. There's hope. Seek it. Don't give up.
What's possible for me now is to understand that I am not my mental illness. As I am as a whole person, I can contribute to my community. Makes me feel really, really happy.
Hello, my name is Percola, and I would like to take a few minutes to tell you what Bert Nash means to me and what mental health means to me. Growing up, I experienced a lot of abuse as a child, all forms of abuse, and it made me put up a wall and not trust people. And going out and seeking mental health was a difficult challenge for me because I felt that I was alone in this world and I felt I had no voice. And through going through and getting proper help helped me obtain a voice. Growing up, I would lash out a lot, which got me in a lot of trouble with school and personal relationships. I had a lot of fallouts. I've lost a lot of friendships. I've lost a lot of relationships as well within my family. I decided to go to anger management, which was held by Julian Brown at the time. Julian, he was a great teacher. It was a great program. I just wasn't I was just so angry that I wasn't ready to deal with my anger within myself. So I decided to leave the program. I didn't graduate. Like I said before, it was a great program. It's just how can you get the root of your anger if you don't know why you're angry? So I decided to seek help and actually find the root. So I started going to therapy. My therapist at the time was Julian Brown. We had 1 or 2 meetings. I just had a baby at the time. My now 2-year-old son, I wasn't ready for that commitment. I wasn't ready to get help because I felt I didn't need it. I didn't realize that I needed mental health help until my husband committed suicide. And then after that, I decided to take my mental health seriously. I decided to go back to Bert Nash, which was pretty awesome. Like prior to that situation, I would have counselors, but I would see them once or twice, or I'd see them for a month or 2 and I would just stop going. But with Julian, there was something different. He actually helped me figure out my anger. He helped me figure out my problems. He helped me figure out my issues. And through that, I was able to open up to him about how my husband's suicide affected me. And we found different ways to take that and build a program around that, to personalize a program for myself, which I also found awesome because it's individual and it's not everybody, it's just for you. And that's one thing that I appreciate about Bert Nash. They build programs just for you. Another thing that I really love about Bert Nash is everything that you do at Bert Nash is willingly. They don't force you to take medicine. They don't force you to do anything. It's all your own decision. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about anger. I learned a lot about how I can find ways to cope, because at that time I was in a very dark place and I was very suicidal at that moment. And they helped me get out of that dark place. Telehealth has helped me tremendously because not only in this pandemic, it's hard to get around, but it's also hard to find a babysitter. So the fact that Bert Nash is still here for me in my time of need, and when I'm going through this huge pandemic that the rest of the world is going through, I can still know that weekly I'll have my therapy sessions with Connor. If you're having any mental health issues, please reach out. Please don't be afraid to reach out. Remember that your mental health is just as important as your physical health. And together we stand united. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Pacola. Hello, I'm Chris Hutchins, Endowment Board member. My wife, Jalon, and I sat where you are 4 years ago. We looked at each other after the program and said, I can't think of a better way to help people here in Douglas County. The personal nature in which Bert Nash is there for our friends, co-workers, and fellow residents touched our hearts. We decided a long time ago our flag was here in Douglas County. That day we decided to be planted with Bert Nash. My wish is that you will too. Today we hope to grow our Celebrate Bert Nash Society. We know individuals like Percola, Damien, JG, and Susan still need Bert Nash to be here for them 5 years from now and beyond. I invite you to join me as a Celebrate Bert Nash Society member to make sure Bert Nash is here for families and individuals now and into the future. To inspire you, it is my great honor to announce today a leadership gift of $55,000 to kick off today's donations and pledges. This gift is made from two generous families. Jeff and Mary Weinberg, thank you very much. And Martin Moore and Duran Reber, we can't do it without families like that. Thank you. Our thanks to these donors for their support really goes a long way. We're also excited to announce a challenge gift for today's celebration. An anonymous donor has stepped up to challenge today's giving with a $25,000 match. That means for everybody that donates today, we have up another $25,000 to match their donation. Thank you so much. We hope you will accept this challenge and give generously so that children, adults, and families in our community can get the help they need when they need it. To view the pledge form, simply click the donate button in the top right corner of your screen. This form will appear on the left-hand side. You can follow along or wait until after the program to complete your gift. There will be 3 options to give today. I'll start at the top of the form to join the Celebrate Bert Nash Society. These pledge level names are meant to give you a sense of what your contribution can do. Your pledge will go towards the unrestricted operating funds at the Bert Nash Center. Responding to Needs is a pledge of $1,000 each year for 5 years, which is approximately $83 per month. I know there's a lot of families, a lot of people can give $83 a month. We spend more on that in coffee and pizza. Come on, everybody, we really need your help. At this level, this treatment is for those families and individuals who have experienced a job loss or other financial burdens during COVID-19. The next giving level, our Restoring Lives level, is a pledge of $5,000 a year for 5 years. Our homeless outreach team houses an average of 100 households per year. A pledge at this level would help ensure financial assistance with housing and increase the average number of households who are able to find a safe home. The last level, and we really hope there's a couple of you all out there today, is Building a Healthy Community, is a pledge of $10,000 for 5 years. This would sustain our current staffing level of RAP, which is supported with Bert Nash Center funding. 2 pledges at this level would support services for 60 children during any given time. For those of you who may prefer to give at a different level, the second option allows you to create your own recurring pledge or give a one-time pledge. To create your own pledge, tell us how much you'd like to give and for how many years. If your gift level is $1,000 or more for 5 years, you'll become a member of the Celebrate Bert Nash Society. Whatever level of support you can provide, we ask you to make your first payment today via credit card. Some of you are here today, attended this event before, and have pledged your support. We've created a third option for those of you that have an existing pledge. You have the option to pay your current pledge payment, extend your years of commitment, or even increase your amount of your existing pledge. If you're inspired, like I was several years ago, by what you've heard today, please remember the dollar-for-dollar match of $25,000 if given in the next 48 hours. It'll go a long way to support the 5,000 individuals we serve every year. Lastly, thank you for coming to listen, to learn, and to contribute your valuable time. Remember, during these difficult times of increased stress, isolation, loss, and uncertainty, the Bert Nash Center is here for you. Thank you and be well. And lastly, remember, you can share this program with your friends and coworkers, and they may have an interest in supporting mental health here in Douglas County also. Thank you.